has brought in some rocks.
I have.
We've reached this level, huh?
We have reached the level of I have nothing else to bring in, so
I got a rock.
I bring in rocks. No, I brought these in because, as many parents and grandparents know, there are certain things that kids like to collect, and it doesn't matter where we are. I mean, we could be at the grocery store, we could be at the park, we could be at the creek, we could be in my own front yard, and rocks come home or in the back of the car. My son will pick up rocks everywhere and he thoroughly enjoys them. So we have this huge collection. So we did some re-landscaping and we created a rock garden for him just behind our back patio. And so he brings them home and we put them in the rock garden. And you know, it's just one of those things that I know once he gets older, I will still have that. Do you know what I mean? And all the little memories that he would, you know, because sometimes they would be in his pockets and they would be jam-packed full of rocks. And I love it so much that he enjoys doing something. And it's so simple. Kids are so inundated with so much technology these days that, you know, rocks give him so much enjoyment.
And stealing is free. So
right, you know,
so you collect, collect the rocks and then you just add them to the garden.
Yeah, so we have all different kinds of rocks in our garden, and there's no right or wrong way if you want to create your own rock garden, because you just kind of put them in there. We kind of squared off a space for it.
That is a great idea. I love that. My thing this week is one of those that's just kind of hidden in plain sight in my house. I literally last night walked around my house going, what can I take for Friday? And this thing like reached out and smacked me in the face. We keep it on our piano in our front room, but it's a Bible verse. And the verse is, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." It's from Jeremiah 29:11. Now, the story behind this is when my wife and I started to talk about having a family, and then ran into some difficulties and stuff. We were walking around the neighborhood one night, and she says to me, she's like, you know, Chad, I think one of your problems is that you thought you had your life planned out. I was going to do this by this age, have kids by this age, do career. And she goes, it's not, your plan's not going according to what you thought it would, and that's okay. Sometimes it's nice to take a different path.
Yes.
I literally, on this walk, stopped in my tracks and went, you're right. You're absolutely right. So then through other conversations and everything, we end up getting our children. But the reason this is so special for me, this plaque, you see it's got a picture of the little hand on top of the big hand. This was part of my first Father's Day gift once my son was born, that my wife found this and gave it to me. And the reason it slapped me in the face this week is because I have another friend going through something and I shared this verse with them. And a couple of friends. And then that night I told them this story. I get a text from them that said, I was just reading the magazine and look what verse popped up. It was another thing like this, and I was like, oh my gosh.
There are never any coincidences.
No. So I brought that in as my favorite thing today. All right, we've got to get to a break. We will have your morning news fix when we come back.